Some people have a problem with children taking their cell phones to school. Others don't. There is a rising concern with the effect they have on students during school hours. By putting in an age restriction, I hope we can help stop this epidemic. Think of a standard day in high school. How many texts do you send? How many texts do you receive? How much time do you spend on your phone? If not you, then somebody else. Cell phone usage has become a problem in today's society. Kids are getting them younger and younger and using them more and more. Statistics show that it is affecting kids' schoolwork when you take a cell phone to school. And a lot of people are wondering how they should feel about it or how to stop it. Now, some parents don't mind their kids having their cell phones at school, and some parents do. But what can they really do about it? It's not like they can skip work, come to the school, and watch their child just to see what kind of cell phone usage they're doing. Now, having a phone at school has its perks as well. You can call a parent in case of an emergency, in case of happenings after school, such as practice, events, or even just wanting to go hang out with someone. Do they realize how much their kids actually use their phones? Probably not. YouTube, Snapchat, Netflix, and Instagram are 4 of the most widely popular online teen platforms used. Fully 95% of teens say that they have access to a cell phone. And a whopping 45% of those teens say are online almost constantly. Twice as many children have cell phones now as in 2004. 85% of teens ranged in age from 14 to 17 have a cell phone. 69% from 11 to 14 have a cell phone. And 31% of kids ranged 8 to 10 have a cell phone. Now, in 2004, when I was 8, well, not in 2004, but when I was 8, I can tell you, I was not playing on a cell phone. Since the teen cell phone epidemic, 65% of teens experienced a drop in grades when they took a cell phone to school. Is this coincidence? I think not. Now that we know what is happening in schools, let's think about this. How can we fix it? The blog WLTX19 states that figuring out what parents want isn't always the wisest thing to do, because if parents did not want the distraction of a cell phone for their child, why did they purchase them a cell phone to take to school? And I personally agree with this, because by bringing a cell phone to school, by allowing your kid to bring a cell phone to school, they are creating the distraction. Now, teachers and parents have different habits and ways of dealing with this, such as one way is for parents to step up and be strict with their kids' cell phone usage. And they can not let them take them to school, and don't let them have unlimited talk, text, and data. Because if a child has unlimited talk, text, and data, then they are just more inclined to use their phone more because they don't have a limit. They can do however much they want on anything, and there's nothing putting them in to stop them. Another thing parents can do is train them to use their phones wisely, such as not being on them all the time. A kid who knows that being on your phone all the time is wrong is a kid that's more likely to have better grades in school, even with taking a cell phone. Now, teachers can also help with this. Teachers can have caddies in their rooms, or they'll organize shoe containers. You slip your phone in them right when you walk in the door, and you get it back at the end of class, or if you need to do something on them. Teachers can also imply catchy phrases like, if I see it, it's mine, or they can have a tow-away zone. But the main problem with teachers enforcing these rules is that they just don't enforce them. My Spanish teacher says no food in the classrooms and no backpacks in the classroom. Yet every morning when I walk into Spanish, every table has food on it and there are backpacks all over the floor. And she doesn't do anything about it. She doesn't enforce her rules. This happens with the majority of teachers on the majority of their rules. Last but not least, schools should have general rules for cell phones as well. If a student needs to make some sort of call or answer a text, they should get specific information or permission from a teacher first. Middle schoolers should not have their cell phones. They are young, their brains are still developing, and they are not yet used to high school. Now that we know why this happens, we should work to stop this. We should all hand together and stop this growing epidemic. We know what kids do on their phones. We know the apps, the games, the times, the percentages. We know the distractions. Take these questions I asked you and think about them clearly. This needs to be stopped. And by taking these steps, I think we